everyone, how you doing? Full disclosure, I'm very tired right now, so we're just gonna keep this a nice, casual, brief discussion about the state of anime. In a way, you could see this as like an update video from my last video, Anime Will Never Be PC. Remember that video? Yeah, they're coming for anime, guys. Now, we all know that anime is quite successful, or at least, you know, the most popular of the popular are quite successful. There's a lot of anime out there. And for a lot of people who have not been getting their 2D animation fix here in the United States, they've been turning to anime. And for people who are not getting their comic fix because they don't like current US comics, they're turning to manga. And this has been a trend that's been growing over time. A lot more people are getting into comics and animation overseas as opposed to here. And the US has seen this happening, which is why there's a lot of new shows and new comics out there that try to mimic what anime does or mimic the style, and it's usually really bad because they don't really understand what makes anime or manga work. So it just really looks like a cheap imitation by somebody who doesn't understand what they're really copying. Now, it's not like the US has had a lot of profits stolen from them by anime and manga. In a way, the US and Japan have had this trade-off when it comes to bringing their stuff over here to the US, having it dubbed, having merchandise sold. But because anime and manga are so popular here in the US, there are some certain standards that have been applied here in the US that many fear may start being applied to anime and manga. For instance, we already know that there are production committees that Funimation is on, and Funimation is notorious for changing dubs and censoring certain things, infuriating fans by doing so. And now the fear is, since Funimation is on this anime production committee, that they are going to be directly fiddling with the original product, and we're not actually going to get what we wanted. Instead, we're going to be getting this new edited version of what we wanted. For example, you know, we have Fruits Basket here, and I did make a video about some of the Fruits Basket changes that I noticed in the new anime. And one of those changes has to do with Ritsu, a character who cross-dresses, not because they're transgender though, but because they're scared of being a man. It's like an internal fear that he is able to overcome by the end of the manga series. In the episode that was featured in the new anime, they never actually show him wearing any boy clothes or properly address his fear, which is kind of questionable. And I can't help but wonder how they're going to be wrapping it up, or if they're even going to wrap it up, or if they'll leave him as a cross-dresser to not get over that fear because maybe they don't consider it politically correct. But those are just the impressions that I've been getting. I think it was weird that they changed the episode in that way. And I kind of wonder what other changes they'll be making for the anime or for other animes that they are featured on these production committees. And then one of the newest writers to step forward and talk about this is actually the mangaka for Love, Hina. Translated tweet, so excuse the English. This month, a member of the House of Councilors asked me to ask a question, but a Diet member asked, what kind of measures do Japanese comics need to survive in the world? From my point of view, first of all, freedom of expression. Japan has the advantage of being able to create freely compared to other countries. However, as foreign affiliated platforms become oligopoly, I want to avoid situations where Japanese works are regulated by overseas standards. Also, at the National Manga Center, which is sent off time, raw manuscripts are stored, displayed, and monetized to prevent them from leaking overseas. Teachers of the members of the Diet were also very nutty. And at the end of the article, it mentions how Sony notoriously censors some of their content as it's moved over here in America, and how Viz Media hired somebody who openly advocates for censoring and changing manga, has asserted that there is going to be a conversation between stakeholders in Japan and here when it comes to creating content that appeals to more Western audience. So it does look like there is censoring being threatened to anime. And it's not only anime fans that are upset and worried over here in the States. Obviously, you know, everyone in Japan is very upset about it. They don't want these types of changes to be made to their anime or their manga. They love the fact that they can just write whatever the heck they want, no matter how goofy, no matter how edgy, no matter how offensive it might be. And I think that's part of why people will normally find themselves attracted to looking into anime and manga. There's a lot of weird stories over there that you don't see over here because of a huge cultural difference. Here in America, we have something called cancel culture. And I guess it doesn't only exist in America, but it's very prominent here right now, where basically the idea is if somebody doesn't like what you're producing or doesn't like a person who's producing it, they can run a campaign against them and get whatever they're working on removed so that nobody can see it. And over time, we've definitely seen that there's a lot people can get upset about. There's a lot that people can find offensive these days. So I think, in a way, because of this fear that if you step out of line, you're going to have your show or movie canceled, it's made it so a lot of American stuff has become a lot more bland because everyone wants to do something that feels safe, something that they won't get in trouble for. So stories start to become more formulaic, same old twists, same old tropes, and there's not really a lot of room for something different, something unique and creative, the way that anime has been giving us. The biggest problem behind the idea of cancel culture is this idea, like, if I don't like something, nobody else should like this thing. If I can't enjoy it, then nobody should enjoy it. So let's get it taken down. Let me get my group together and let's campaign against it. And I think that whole idea comes from people who are generally unhappy and are seeking a certain level of comfort from the world around them. So whenever something different comes in, they're scared of it because it's so different. And it makes them uncomfortable, so the way they figure is by removing this, I can make my life more comfortable. And if it's more comfortable for me, then that must be making the world a better place. So I'm not only helping myself, but I'm helping the world. But it is, at its base form, selfish, because there are other people out there who are not uncomfortable with these types of stories existing. There are people out there who like those types of jokes or those types of stories that you're trying to censor. And if you're making other people upset but making yourself happy and satisfied, then you're not really making the world a better place. You're just making the world a better place for you. So I would definitely advocate for anime and manga to not be censored and not be changed for a Western audience, because people who watch anime know where it's coming from and like it as it is. I realize there might be a lot of normies who like watch anime on Adult Swim and who don't really get any of the Japanese comedy or references, and that's fine. You could always learn. You know, you don't have to be threatened by something that's different culturally. But man, there are, in fact, a lot of weird anime stories out there, and by God, they give you some entertainment. Have you ever seen the first episode of Chobits? You know how that first pilot episode ends, right? He just sticks his fingers right up there. I was looking through manga in the comic shop, right? There was this manga. I forget what it was called. Oh, I need to figure out what it was called. It's about this guy who's gay and he has a boyfriend, and he's part werewolf. And because he's part werewolf, stay with me, every night of the full moon, he turns into a girl. Makes no fucking sense, but I have to read it. You see, that's the type of stuff that we're talking about. It's just, it's weird, but it's very creative. It's very different and unique, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being different. So long as we're talking about really different, weird stories. Orgasm Girl, guys. Yep, this is the last day for this comic campaign. It's my own little weird, unique story. And looks like we managed to double the initial goal. Woo! It'll all be wrapped up today. Sorry, campaign is ending. And me and Sanity are going to be getting work done. And I'll take this moment to say thank you to all of those who supported this comic and who donated. This is actually a very perfect example of something that would make a lot of people uncomfortable, but there's clearly people who would like to read it. So just because you can't enjoy something doesn't mean that other people don't have the right to enjoy it. I understand there's a lot of things in this world that make people uncomfortable or make people upset, and they think, oh well, an injustice has been done to me because I'm uncomfortable. I personally don't think that being comfortable is necessarily a God-given right, though. Being comfortable is more of a privilege. There's a lot of things in life that are going to make you uncomfortable and upset. You gotta push past them. You gotta find things that make you happy. Stop worrying about what other people are doing and fix your own life. Anyway, have I lectured for too long? I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, Orgasm Girl is wrapping up today. Videos might be a little bit slow as far as uploading. You might have noticed that there have been fewer videos uploaded per week lately. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy year in general. We're still doing streams though. I'm gonna try to keep on the streams. I think next week we'll probably have the fan art live stream. So if you have fan art, you can send that over to me via Twitter or email. And this Friday, we're going to be having Fresher Luke on to talk about his new comic Forsaken Gods. So you're not going to want to miss that. Anyway, let me know what you think about the topic of anime being threatened by the Western standards. What do you think about cancel campaigns? Any and all thoughts you have, let me know down below in the comments section. And as usual, remember to like the video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Program restart.